further along the line in terms of progress, or would you say that this year has perhaps been a difficult step back almost?
Well, if you say a step back because we haven't won a title, and then it has to be related. In the league, we have 2 more points than last season, but it's nowhere near what we want to be. The fact that we haven't have a title so close to grab because we are not in the Europa League final makes it really difficult to see more positives. But we were knocked out in the last 16 in the Europa League last season. And there is a lot of things that have been done that they were very necessary in this season that are not related to results. But at the end of the day, we are here to win.
I know it's not been the easiest for you having to talk about things like takeovers or something. If I can just ask you one question, because Daniel Ek has talked about his bid being rejected. Are you hopeful now that a bid's being rejected now, that this issue can just now be parked and you can just focus and the club can just focus on what it needs to do in terms of progress now?
I really hope so, because I think it's been very clear where the owners are standing. I think I've been clear to give my view on the situation, and just for the benefit of the club, which I think is the only interest that everybody that supports really the club should be aiming, is to get the unity and the togetherness that we need to be back where we want. That's all.
And you talked about, obviously now you think about what the plans are going forward for the future, and players will leave and so on like that. Can I ask you about Joe Willock, who's been fantastic in his loan spell? Is he part of those long-term plans that you have, and do you see him coming back and playing a part at the club next season?
Yes, and I'm really happy that things have gone so well for him because of the potential that Joe had. I think it was great for him to go away and have a different experience. He has grabbed that opportunity in a really positive and remarkable way, and he will be back with us. We'll have those conversations with him and plan the next few years for him.
And of course, this game, the final game of the season, you're going to have fans back in. It's been a difficult year for them, frustrating year for them. What sort of response or what sort of atmosphere are you expecting at the Emirates for this last game of the season?
That they haven't been at the stadium for a long time. We haven't been able to be together. So hopefully a really positive atmosphere, trying to support the team and the team trying to give them some joy and win the game.
In terms of bringing them some sort of joy, it's not a title or anything, but how much do you think they will be determined for Arsenal to get the win and potentially finish above Tottenham this season, just give them that small bit of pleasure, something to shout about in North London?
Yeah, anything that is in our hands to make them happy and to help us to be in a better place than we are today, it's all positive.
Thanks a lot, Mikel. Let someone else jump.
I know the table's over 38 games, but have you seen the last 23 matches of your league form and where that puts you in the league? You will be second. I mean, what do you make of that? Because that is, considering your first start of the season, that's quite good, isn't it?
Yes, it is very good, but as you said, the league is played in 38 games. But at least it shows that we are able to do it. And we get a little bit more normal context, more normal situations. I'm very positive about what we can do. But at the end of the day, we are judged of what we've done in the whole season, and it's not for sure where we want to be.
Can you work out, when you look back at this season, I know I mentioned it, but it really was that period in November that really has cost you, hasn't it? Considering how well you've done over the last 23 games.
Yes, it's a lot of things from September to December that are contributing to that. I don't just believe it's just an issue. There were a lot of things in that period.
Will them issues be back again next season, or are they eliminated for good? You sound like you know what the issue was back then.
Well, this is my job. To identify, to be very critical with myself first, and then try to analyze and find why things happened, whether it's negative or positive. So if it's positive, then let's keep doing a lot of the good things that we are doing.
Joe Willock, so just to confirm, he's definitely going to be an Arsenal player next season. He won't be going out on loan.
Well, for sure, because he's got a contract and he's going to be here. So that's for sure.
he's put a few extra pounds on these with all his goals. He's put a few extra pounds on his transfer fee, possibly.
And he got the responsibility and the task to go to Newcastle to help them go where they want. And I'm telling you, because I spoke with the coaching staff, they're extremely happy because he was a key part of contributing to get the objectives that they had. So that's a real positive for him.
Hector Bellerin, I know he's injured, but what will Sunday be? Is that going to be his last appearance at the Emirates, possibly, or do you hope he stays?
Hector is not fit, so he won't be playing the last game. And like everybody that has a contract, George, he remains here.
Okay, and just sorry, I know he's not your player, but it's going to be Sergio Aguero's last game on Sunday. Can you just give us an appreciation of how good he was from your time at Man City, please?
And also really enjoyed to work with him. And his character, his personality, he's a lovable man. And then, one of the best talents that I've seen while he's been in this league for so long, and for the amount of goals that he's done. I think he was a player that contributed to change the perception of English football in different countries. And one for Manchester City. I think he was a big contributor of changing the history, the mentality, and the winning years that they had after that.
Thanks very much. Thanks for all the questions this season. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
What do you think of the Europa Conference League or the UEFA Conference League? Because if you do finish above Spurs, you could finish 7th. You could be in that tournament next season. I know it's not the Champions League or the Europa League. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, it's a new competition, so I don't know really well what it would happen. First of all, let's try to finish as high as possible, and after we will determine if we are involved, what's the best way to do it.
In some ways, it's been looked down upon by people. I mean, do we need a third European competition, for example?
Well, we have experienced in the last few years as well how tough being in the Europa League is, with the amount of games that you play and the short turnaround that you have all the time in the Premier League. I think there is a lot of history there with teams that have been involved in Europa League, the negative consequences that has in the Premier League positions. But we tried to give it the best possible go. We came a little bit short, and but this club has to be in Europe.
How difficult is your team selection on Sunday? Because from the outside, people are saying, well, are Arsenal going to build a team for the future around the likes of Kieran Tierney, Bukayo Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe? And on the other hand, there are a few goodbyes that might need to be said to players like David Luiz, possibly Willian, as you said there, maybe Hector Bellerin, who knows? I mean, so how difficult is Sunday's team selection for you?
Team selection is just the best possible selection to win the game, and what is going to happen afterwards, it's part of the future, and what we have to try to control is what happens on the day.
Do you have a lot of difficult conversations coming up? I mean, I'm thinking of players like Eddie Nketiah, who is going to want to play more football next season. He has this. I don't know whether you want to keep him or not. I'm not going to ask you that. But with players like that, do you have difficult conversations in the next few weeks?
Well, we have a lot of conversations that already happened, and some more that have to happen. Difficult or not, we have to face them, and we have to be able to tell each other what our feelings are, and then try to make the right decision.
Fans will ask whether finishing 7th, 8th or 9th, whether it's good enough for a team as big as Arsenal. What would your response be?
No.
So, whatever it is, it's a season of underachievement, yeah?
It's not where we want to be at, yeah.
Okay. And finally, you've spoken before about how important your family are to you. You're going to the last game of the season. I guess after that, there's a chance for you to repay them a bit, Mikel, with a bit of family time. Are you actually going to be able to get away this summer, or with the Euros on, the family and the dog going to be put in one room, and you're going to be watching Spain and England in the other room?
Now, you have to find that out. There is a lot of work to do, reflection to do, a lot of decisions to be made, and it would take time to do that. But at the same time as well, you have to disconnect. It's been almost 2 years with no break, and and they deserve some time with us. And I think our bodies and minds as well, they need a rest to be more efficient and have more clarity in our vision.
I must ask, which flag is in the Mikel Arteta house? The Spanish one or the English one?
Sorry?
Which flag for the Euros will you fly in the Arteta house, the English one or the Spanish one?
I would have both, and as well, obviously supporting as well a lot of the players that we have here. They will be representing the country, and we want the best for them.
Thanks for being a great sport all season. Have a good summer.
Thank you.